Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Groones is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Groones.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode 96. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. My voice is a little shaky this week, but we'll get through it, so hang with me. I'm excited about the podcast this week as we welcome back for the first time this season Golden Gopher tight end Brevyn Spann-Ford. He's been on our Go Gopher podcast a few times over the years, and I know you'll enjoy hearing from him again. He's got touchdowns in each of the past 2 games, and he and his teammates have a big opportunity against the Ohio State Buckeyes this weekend. Brevyn Spann-Ford from St. Cloud, Minnesota, is my guest this week. Our Go Gopher podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. Get a confidential, no-cost, no-obligation business valuation started today. Make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union is also a big sponsor of our Go Gopher podcast. Life math is complicated, and Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union makes it easier with local financial experts available to help in person or virtually. Learn more at affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. They sponsor our player profile segment, supporting Gopher student athletes, including sponsoring our player profile segment with Brevyn Spann-Ford today. As the official grocer of the Gophers, Cub is proud to be the sponsor of the Go Gopher podcast. In a hurry? Don't worry, Cub delivers. Get fresh meat, produce, and everyday essentials delivered to your door. Also, our podcast is sponsored by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland at ChamplinInsurance.com. We're podcasting episode 96 from the Aquarius Home Services studio. We invite you to subscribe to our Go Gopher podcast. It's free to do so, and you can also go back and listen to previous Go Gopher podcast. Last week, for example, we had a great conversation with Gopher men's golf coach Justin Smith. He spoke about the Gopher golf family and the incredible emotional week they shared last week. If you missed the show, go back and listen. This episode, we're talking Golden Gopher football with star tight end Brevyn Spann-Ford. We dive into episode 96 next.
I'm Clay Geary, walk-on turned scholarship wide receiver for Gopher football.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we're part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at Sunbelt Business Advisors, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit TrueNorthEquityPartners.com.
With the holidays here, guests will be too. Good thing Cub is stocked and ready for whoever shows up. You'll find fresh foods and seasonal flavors for everyone and every occasion. From cookie swaps and potlucks to holiday jingling and party mingling, Cub has you covered. Now through Saturday, get free Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Mountain Dew, or Starry 12-packs when you spend $50 or more on meat and seafood products with My Cub Rewards at checkout. See store for details. My Cub, my way.
It's episode 96. Golden Gopher tight end Brevyn Spann-Ford, St. Cloud, Minnesota, rejoins the podcast. He's been a guest on this podcast a few times over the years. I remember, I think our last visit was out in the hotel in New York before the Pinstripe Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Remember that? That was good. That turned out to be a nice day in New York City, get a win over Syracuse.
Yeah.
At that point, you had just announced, I think, right, that you were coming back for your 6th season, and so we talked about that and what went into that decision and everything. And so now here we are, these many months later. How has it been in terms of coming back, spending time with teammates, coaches, family? What would your assessment be?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Obviously, we haven't had the record that we've, hoped for, but that's football at the end of the day. But I've really enjoyed every moment I've had with all my coaches, all my teammates. Just being able to come back for one last year was really special to me. And with 2 games left, we still got football to be played. So I'm really excited to keep going here.
And things to play for. You think about this weekend, and I'll ask you about Ohio State later on, but you got the number 1 or 2 team, depending on how you look at it, a team that wants to make the playoffs. You guys could certainly shock the world, win this weekend. You got the Axe yet. It's been a long time since, guys have won 3 in a row here at this place. So, and then, hopefully a bowl game. So there's stuff still on the table for you guys to go snatch, right?
Yeah, definitely. With this week, obviously, it's a great opportunity for us. And then, we haven't had the Pig and the Axe in the same building for quite some time. So we got some history to be made. It's right there in front of us, and I can't wait to do it with these guys.
Yeah, it's winding down, which we'll talk about as well. And before we do continue to look ahead, I want to talk about the season up to this point. You mentioned the record, not probably when you envision coming back, and I know you talked about even on the podcast, you and Tyler had discussed it, because you guys could both be somewhere in the NFL probably right now. I'm sure part of what you wanted to come back for was to win a whole bunch of football games, and you've won 5. There's some great wins, which I'll ask you about. But what do you think of the season at this point, without maybe winning as much as you wanted, but having some special moments too?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Just like the preparation that's led up to it. This team has been one of the most hardworking teams I've been a part of, and it's truly been special to see our growth. We have a lot of youthful guys on our team, and they've come so far in this season. You got guys like Maverick Baranowski, who we didn't expect him to play a whole lot this year, and he's played significant snaps for us and done great. You got guys like Jordan Newman, who's come on late, and we had some backs go down, and he came and stepped up. Same with Zach Evans. Just it's been awesome to see those guys shine, because I know how it felt being a young guy coming in, and when you get to make that impact, it definitely changes your perspective of things.
Margin of error too, right, is so small. I mean, you guys are an eyelash from maybe sitting here at 8 and whatever it'd be, 8-2, I guess. Mm-hmm. And on the flip side, maybe an eyelash, you could be 3-8, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you won a couple of tight ones in Iowa City and here against Nebraska, which I'll ask you about that coming up too. So the margin of error is so thin, and here you guys are. I think you described it earlier today in your media session as it's been a season of ups and downs. How do you handle that as a player? Currently, I suppose with this 2-game losing streak, you would consider, now personally for you, you had a couple of touchdowns over the last 2 weeks, but the team didn't win. So how do you handle the ups and downs of a season?
It's the ultimate teacher for us. You hear Coach Fleck say all the time, the line of success is never straight. When you take dips like that in your line of success, you can either, continue to plummet or you can rise up from it. Sometimes, like you were saying, the ball just doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes, we'll start out slow. Like that is football, and that's what's so amazing about it. And that should motivate any player to play. It's so much teaching within that and learning within that it makes the game so amazing. Win or loss, you're gonna show up to the next day and you're gonna want to work on something. You're gonna want to get better at something. So this season has been a huge symbolic tell of Coach Fleck's line of success, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's required you guys to get up off the mat a couple of times, and there's, if nothing else, there's lessons to be learned in that, right?
Yeah, I mean, just like Coach Fleck says, row the boat is a never give up mantra, and that's what we've done all year. And I look forward to our response this Saturday.
And it can happen you think about just in addition to the margin of error, then it can happen in a heartbeat. You think back to that Illinois game, and to me the crummiest part of that game was you guys. We had all, and you probably included, have been waiting, like, just put a complete quarter together in crunch time. And shy of that last 2 minutes, my goodness, what plays you guys made, right? I mean, you had you had the Cody Lindenberg punches the ball out, Wally's on it. Ethan hits Daniel Jackson for the touchdown. You go ahead. They get the ball back. Tyler Newman gets the interception, another winning play. You end up having to give the ball back again, and Strigo and Smith force a fumble, and Kyler Baugh's 8 inches from winning the game by getting it. They recover, and you're still 4th and 11. All these winning plays, you knock the starting quarterback out, and then in 2 minutes, it all just the trapdoor falls out on you. I mean, how do you recover from that? And did you think that lingered into Purdue, or do you think? I mean, I know you guys scored a touchdown right off the bat, so maybe not.
I would say it didn't linger into Purdue as much as, sometimes like that is football. I think that we've done a great job, regardless of, how bad everyone saw the Northwestern loss. We showed up that Sunday and everyone was ready to get to work. No matter how heartbreaking the Illinois loss was, we showed up and got to work. And the same thing this week, we showed up and we got to work, and that's the constant. And I don't know if past teams would have done the same thing, to be honest. So that's what's very unique about this team. You
have talked, and Coach Fleck has talked a lot about the leather vest on those Sunday nights, and I suppose those were getting some use this past Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, you could have the greatest game in the world. You're still going to put on the leather vest, and you're going to get coached. That's what I love about, how we do things here.
You mentioned there's ups and downs. So let's talk about the ups for a minute because, of course, that's more fun anyway, right? That's what we want to talk about. I think of the opener, Nebraska, sellout crowd, gold out, great atmosphere, back and forth game. They're excited because they have a new coach and they want to make a splash, and they played pretty well. The defense stepped up at the right time. The offense makes the 4th down conversion. Daniel Jackson gets the toe tap, and then Dragon kicks the walk-off. So take me back. I mean, it's been a while now, but it's fun to relive some stuff, and we haven't had a chance to chat. What do you remember about that night and how cool that night was?
What I find really unique about you bringing that up is, like, you never really think, like, I couldn't tell you the score of that game. I could tell you Dragon kicked a game-winning field goal. I could tell you Daniel Jackson had a game hit a nice toe drag catch to, put us up in front. You just think about those memories with your teammates, how happy you were for those guys. Those are 2 guys that, they're so deserving of that moment and that spotlight. Like, Daniel works his tail off. So I remember to start the season, like, he had a great camp. Like, there was no other guy that was more fitting to, have that catch and have that moment. And he's carried it along well. He's had a great year, and we don't know where we would be without him this year. He's really carried the load for us, and he's done a great job. And Dragon, you can say the same thing about him. He's got a bomb of a leg. Everybody knows that,
and dude can kick.
And he stepped up a lot as a leader this year too. So.
And then how about your buddy Tyler Newman getting the 2 picks? And then I got a little emotional watching him watching Gus Johnson make the calls because, for every kid, that's kind of a fun deal. And so it was pretty cool for Tyler too.
Tyler is he's always been a ball hawk, man. Like I feel like I remember like over half of his interceptions just because, they come at that crucial time when you need it. He's going to be there to hold down the defense, and, he's always that voice for him. And, it shows in his play, and it shows, in his leadership outside of the field.
You mentioned Daniel Jackson. He came on the podcast following that big win and talked about, I did not know this, talked about the training that you guys, I'm sure as tight ends you do this as well, where you kick that lead leg up if you're in that situation. And you think about it, how many times maybe, that might be the only time in a game Daniel Jackson will ever use that trait, right? Because usually you're either, tap, toe tap, whatever. But that training.
Yeah.
When I asked him about it, he said it was training. I thought he was fooling with me for a minute. I'm like, come on. He's like, no, we work on kicking that leg up. So, I mean, boy, that's got to be pretty cool to know that you've worked and worked and worked, and then it pays off.
That's a big thing, too, with Coach Fleck. He's adamant on, being a smarter football player. So situational stuff, just always practicing situational stuff, whether it's a Hail Mary, things like that, because you never know when you're going to need it. Yeah. And when that moment kicks in, it'll be just like a second nature for you to do it.
Yeah.
And it paid off right there, clearly.
I was watching them, was it Monday or Sunday night game, Bills and Broncos, and was it right before half where Denver had to run the
it was at the end of the game.
End of the game. They had to run the team in field goal wise, right?
Yep.
And I thought about, you guys do that weekly at least, sometimes every day, right? The bonsai where you're doing the deal, and he's counting it down over his. He's mic'd at practice, and he goes 5, 4, 3, and you got to get it off, and so those are all lessons. I don't think in your time here, we haven't had to use that. But if it becomes an issue, you can win a game with it.
Yeah, it's huge just for your personnel and things like that. Signaling, make sure you guys get off the field, the offense gets off the field, and field goal gets on there. But they're extremely important. They can win you a football game. Yeah. So at the end of the day, that's something we always got to keep working on just to make sure we got it in our back pocket.
Yeah, and I know that it wasn't specific to these drills or what have you, but one of the themes has oftentimes been break the boring. So you guys are going through drills. I'm sure it's like, gosh, here we go. When are we going to use this? But you can't have that mindset. You got to have the mindset of let's do it.
Yeah.
Because we might need this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another thing that goes along with break the boring is just, making yourself uncomfortable. If I'm doing the same ball drills every single week, it's gonna get to a point where it's like, this is kind of boring.
Yeah.
So just making sure that you're mixing it up, making it different. They do that with even the schedules. They'll tweak something in our schedule just to make it a little bit different than usual.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing that way. You don't get into the monotonous of, being in school, being in football, kind of having to balance all that. They make things fresh and exciting for us.
I don't think they do it much in season, but I know in fall camp you want to try to break the boring. They'll take you guys to a movie or the pool or Valley Fair or someplace.
Yeah, we've done numerous
concerts,
activities. It's been like it's a whole nother experience outside of what we've done football-wise.
Yeah. One of the other ups, I would think, for this season was to finally get that pig in the building. And I know you guys pinned him when you got home. But what was that like at Kinnick Stadium, to for the most of that game, be in control, or at least, you're there for the win. And then, the weird punt return deal, and all of a sudden you maybe think again what happened, and then you get new life, and you're able to win the game. And then, to me, the emotion afterwards for you guys, it had to just be an amazing day.
Yeah, it was just an overall amazing feeling. The preparation that's gone into it, even the past 6 years for me, you just always hear about like what it takes to go and get that thing, and to finally do it after such a long time it was the most rewarding feeling. And just seeing everyone's reaction, seeing coach's reaction, it was unforgettable, especially doing it there. We've suffered some tough ones there. So to finally get over that hump, it felt amazing.
Yeah, and the Gophers had not been able to get a win there since '99. Think about that. And so it had been a while.
I was born in '99.
You were born in '99, so think about that, almost your entire lifetime. And to get it, to win it, to share that emotion. I know Dragon was the first guy to the pig, and then he had to wait for some others to catch up because he couldn't. I think it weighs 98 pounds. He's a strong guy, but not that strong. Did you get a chance to hoist it?
I was pretty beat up. I didn't hoist it.
You were just touched.
I just touched it. I let Nathan Bowe.
Yeah, he could.
Two arm hold it up. Yeah. I'll come over there and
get
support him. Yes. Support him while he's doing it.
Did you get some good pictures?
Yeah, me and Chris got a picture together with it. So
I was taken aback too, because I watch you guys and I know what kind of emotion you pour into it, and then you go out and people, you beat Wisconsin a couple of years in a row, and it isn't. I mean, it is. People congratulate you for that, of course, but it's always like, well, when are you going to beat Iowa? When are you going to beat Iowa? And I know what work you pour into it. Mm-hmm. There was a video out there of Chris. He didn't have one catch in the game, right? But he's walking around. He's just kind of looking around. You could just tell what it meant to him. It didn't matter if he didn't have a catch.
Yeah,
that was important. I don't know if you've seen that video, but it just caught me. Because I know what he's poured into it. You know what he's poured into it. I know what you've poured into it. So that was a pretty cool day. I
think part of it too is like we came in with a group of guys that never got to win it, and them not being there and us finally getting to win it. You just felt for all them. You felt them with you, especially guys like O'Keefe.
Did you hear from him?
Yeah, I called him immediately after the game. It just felt good to win it for them. You know how much it means to them still to this day. So making sure we brought that home was really, really, like, it was one of the most unforgettable moments.
You told us last year about Ko and how he was pretty tough on you to start, almost to the point you didn't like him much. And now you grew, you learned what he meant.
Yeah.
And he taught you some things, and I know you still stay in touch. He's an Iowa guy, so what was that phone call like after you won the pig? You called him from the stadium?
Yeah, so he had some meetings because he had a game the next day. So he had texted me beforehand, like, hey, don't call me right after the game. Like, I'm at meetings. I didn't see the message until after the game, so I called him and then saw the message. So I was like, oh, dang, okay. And then I waited, and then we got on the bus, and he called me back. And, it was just good to see him, just overjoyed that we won. Yeah, I mean, he's the same old Ko, so.
Yeah. I saw him the season opener, and he was here. What game was he here for? Michigan. And then when they won here, him and Antoine were here. I got a chance just to briefly chat with each of them. I was over at the game, and it was fun to see those guys. And they're so there was a big horde of media guys around Antoine because it was just such a cool story that his dad had played for the Vikings, and he was beating the Vikings. And Ko had a little less space, or much more space, so I went over and we had a good chat. But Ko's the best for sure. And I remember you talking about that he was trying to show you the way, and then you kind of embraced some of what then he was trying to teach you, right?
Yeah. I think a big thing that, he kind of instilled in me is just like, you want to leave this place better than you found it. You want to make sure that the guys younger than you, they understand like how to play, how to practice, how to approach every day, every lift, every walkthrough, just that mindset, that mentality. So just making sure I leave that mark. It's important to him, and now it's important to me.
Yeah, and then you've got some younger tight ends that you're teaching the same. What are some? I know Jameson's played some. Who are some other guys maybe in the pipeline that once you're off and in the NFL that we'll be watching make catches and make plays?
Yeah, definitely freshman Pierce Walsh. We call him Little J-Mo because he looks kind of like J-Mo, and he's a little bit smaller than him. But no, he's making plays in the row for scrimmages. He's making, he's moving up the board. He's a tremendous kid. Super smart, and I look forward to coming back and seeing him ball out on Saturdays.
Yeah,
I really do.
It'll be fun to watch him progress. It's one of my favorite parts of the job. I've been here long enough now that I've seen several different classes go through, and it's so cool to see, you get here in 2018, and now here we are in 2023, and then you're ready. Getting close, not yet. You've got a couple games yet here, but getting close for your next step in life. As you think about, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. So the 6th and 7th year guys, it's Crab, you, Bryce, Tyler, and Bo. Is that the group?
Yep.
Basically. So what has this season meant to you guys to be able to win Floyd of Rosedale, still have a chance to maybe pull off a stunner this weekend, a chance to win the Axe, beat Nebraska? At one point, getting into November, you were in position to potentially, accomplish what you wanted to. What's it been like for that group? Of course, Bryce unfortunately can't play with the injury, but what's that group mean to you?
The group means so much to me. It's felt like a blink of an eye. We've been here for a long time, but it's felt like a blink of an eye. I like living with Bryce, living with Chris for a little bit. I don't even want to think about next year and just being away from them because I've been with them for so long now. It's like I'm literally leaving family, but I'm really excited for their next chapters as well. Nubin and I will be close by because we're gonna be with the same agency group.
Yep.
So we'll be with each other. But Chris and Bryce, I gotta find them as soon as I can. Bo, I gotta find them as soon as I can, just to make sure they're always doing good. So
yeah, it's that's one of the fun things to see that classes come up and move on and just mature. And Tyler, especially Tyler, the way he has grown from his freshman year to just what he's turned into has been as fun of I think any athlete I've watched. What he's been able to do.
Yeah, definitely.
From day one into where he's at now. Ethan Kaliakmanis is the guy throwing you the football. And, of course, last year we saw flashes of him, and, man, was he good at times. Obviously at Camp Randall, incredible. What can you say about your quarterback?
I love the dude. He's extremely confident, and that's what I love about him. He's not afraid to go out there and make a mistake. And, regardless of what, media or outside sources have to say about him, he's going to show up and go to work. That's all he knows how to do is to work. And I think he's going to continue to prove people wrong. And he's any quarterback. Any quarterback's going to make a mistake, Look at, Josh Allen this season. Look at, even Mahomes this season. They aren't having perfect seasons. No one's a perfect player. So, I just think it's been awesome, getting to play with him. He's really been the only second quarterback I've really played with in college. So just kind of being around him while also, having Tanner back to, help coach him as well. Right. Coach Harbaugh coaching him, that's a familiar face to me as well. So just kind of creating that, communication level with all of them. To make sure that we're all on point on offense it's been really fun.
You've got the Buckeyes this weekend. We mentioned they're looking to try to get into the playoffs. They've got a game with Michigan looming a week from Saturday. What is your guys' mindset heading into that game?
As much as, you want to you want to acknowledge like, oh, they're one of the best teams in the country, this and that. At the end of the day, you have to focus on yourself. We always like to say, like, this is Minnesota versus Minnesota, like, every week. It's just us versus us. We have to, come out and play better than we did last week, execute better than we did last week. And you gotta believe that, we're going to have one of those weeks where we put it all together, offensively, defensively, and special teams. Do you have a bit of a us against the world mentality? Because I'm thinking not a lot of people are probably picking the maroon and gold to win this game this weekend. Or does that do you not even factor that? You can't factor in the outside noise. At the end of the day, like, all we have is each other. Yep. So making sure that we're going to work. We're not going out to, earn likes on Twitter. We're not going out to have people tweet about us. We're not doing it for any of that. We're doing it for each other. And that's the goal, and that's part of our process. We just have to go out there and, play our best and, not worry about the result, just worry about, the next play. What do they present defensively that you and your teammates will have to keep an eye on? They mix it up a lot in coverage. They have a strong, fast D-line, good linebackers. They've always had good linebackers when we played them. One thing that I've noticed since, we played them back in, I think it was, 2021? Yeah. It was 21, right? Yeah, 21. Yeah. They have playmakers all over the field. So just making sure that, your details and fundamentals are on point going into the game, and extra film study to understand, they're going to mix things up in the secondary and the back end. They're, in 21, you guys were leading them in the third quarter. Then Mo got injured, and, I think Howden got injured, and that certainly impacted the game. And obviously totally different personnel. The guy that was quarterbacking that night was making his first start, and now he's the talk of the NFL, and C.J. Stroud. There's no Mo here. There's no Tanner here, and others. That said, when you look, is there a way that you can create, like, look, this is a program that, you're ahead of in the third quarter a couple of years ago. You look, Maryland gave them a tough game for a while. Rutgers was right in it into the fourth quarter, and then Ohio State, which they can do because they're good. Do you look at it that way and say, look, if they're hanging, we can hang. Get us to the fourth, and who knows? Yeah, I say it's more just us focusing on what we got to do. If you look too much into the Buckeye stickers on their helmet, you're gonna get caught up in that. At the end of the day, they're looking at it the same way. We're Ohio State, and we're looking at it. We're Minnesota. You got to have pride in that, and wherever you're at, you got to take pride in where you are. Right. You can't just allow like a symbol or a logo to, distract you from that. Yeah. All right, I've got a few more questions for you, but let me talk about one of our sponsors here real quick. Affinity Plus is your local credit union, proudly serving Minnesota since 1930. If you're a current Gopher student or a proud Gopher alum, you're eligible to join this financial that wants to build a meaningful banking relationship and put you first. You can meet with a local employee at any of their branches statewide, including right off campus here on University here in Minneapolis. You can learn more and find other ways to connect by going to their webpage. It's
affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. They also have an award-winning mobile app. You can check out all the info. It's Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. They sponsor our player profile as well, and through their great support in supporting Gopher student athletes, for his appearance here, Brevyn Spann-Ford will get a $100 gift card from our friends at Affinity Plus. So thanks to Affinity, and Brevyn, thanks to you as well.
Yep, shout out Affinity Plus.
Yeah,
man.
thumbs up there for sure.
Hi, Gopher fans. Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on lights, we switch TV channels, we switch on the TV. And with the new transfer portal, some college students even switch colleges, which can seem crazy to us diehard fans. But what's not crazy is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, my agency can switch you over so we can start saving today. My team is ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood and show you it is, in fact, easy to switch and save. When you want the real deal, check us out at ChamplinInsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, I want to ask some non-football questions.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Wolves? Are you a Wolves fan, first of all?
I'm a Wolves fan.
Diehard, right? I know you go to some games, yeah. So what do you think of this start? You see the fight last night to start?
I did see the fight. That was pretty intense, actually.
Yeah.
I think that the Wolves have a very promising future as long as they keep Anthony Edwards here.
Man, he's something else.
Yeah.
Even last night, he wasn't, I would say, on his game per se. It wasn't like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But he still impacted it in a positive way.
He's definitely, I feel like he's definitely changed the, narrative of the Timberwolves, and they have a great starting five around him.
Yeah.
I love the starting five they have around him.
It seems, too, Anthony Edwards now he brings some cachet to the floor that the Wolves have missed. Like every real good championship level kind of team, right, needs a guy that's not going to back down or needs a guy that's not scared of the moment.
He's got charisma.
Seems like that's the guy, right?
Definitely has charisma. I feel like when he first came in the league, it kind of got mistaken as arrogance.
Yeah.
But dude can ball. He backs it up.
And when the international play that he had this year, I don't remember whatever that tournament was they were in. I mean, that put him on a new level because he was dominating, the best in the world. And then Towns hits a big three. Conley hits a big three, and they end up getting the win.
I love watching Conley. He's been a great addition to the Wolves.
For sure. How much you still playing ball?
Never.
Just don't want to risk injury or just other things going on?
I just don't see myself as very good at basketball.
Come on.
It's
all over for you.
Yeah, it's all over for me. Wow. I love watching it though. Yeah. I love the NBA season.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try to go over to the men's game on Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We're taping Wednesday tomorrow, Minnesota and Missouri. We'll stop up and say hello if you're there.
Yeah, I'll be there in full force.
You and I taped an interview after practice today that will air on our pregame show this weekend, and you mentioned your nephews as one of the other reasons that you wanted to stick around another year because they're having so much fun. And I got thinking, you've been here now 6 years. So how old were your nephews? How old are they? How old were when they started? And maybe now because you've been here a while, they really understand what's going on.
So the oldest just turned 10.
So he was what, like 4 when?
Yeah, so he was 4, and the other ones are 3 and 4. So they're either 3 or 4 or 4.
So they weren't even born when you started.
Yeah,
playing.
they weren't even born. Yeah. But they do also have another one on the way. So
wow, that's great.
There's one more to add to it.
Holy cow! So the 10-year-old understands what's happening with Uncle Brev then.
Yeah, he's been to quite the amount of away games.
Yeah, is that right?
He's been to Penn State wideout. He's been to Colorado. He was just at Purdue. He was at UNC. I mean, the kid hasn't been to school.
That's awesome, though.
He hasn't been to a Friday. He hasn't been to a Friday
wearing the 88 jersey, I hope, or something.
Always something Gophers.
Yeah, that's great.
But I love seeing him at the games. It really means a lot to me.
Yeah, and so that part has to be kind of cool to see. Because if you, not that you wouldn't stay in touch, obviously, but if you're out somewhere playing, pro ball, of course they'd follow you. Might probably come to some of your games, but it's probably cool to still have them close by here.
Yeah, definitely. Getting to see them all in their Gopher gear, it's a lot of fun. Just seeing the little videos of them yelling "Go Gophers," seeing them on the big screen or something like that during the game. I'm just shaking my head.
That's great. That's
things
great.
like that. Yeah.
You, in coming back, also have been kind of one of the lead guys on the team in terms of name, image, and likeness. We talked about it a little bit here with this, but you have some other bigger deals going, and I know Dinkytown Athletes has been part of it. Do you have some gear or anything that people can buy?
I don't have any gear. I got. I think the whole team has the Fanatics deal where you can get jerseys and stuff, but I don't have like a T-shirt or anything.
Nothing. Yeah. Daniel Jackson, he got his.
I got that Ethan Kaliak-Manis. I got the T-Noob. I had like when Mo had dropped his. I got every color. I got
you got a whole wardrobe.
I get all of them. I make sure I get all of them.
Oh, that's amazing. St. Cloud, I asked you this in the interview too for people here on the radio as well. St. Cloud, your hometown, St. Cloud Tech. What does that community meant to you, and how proud are you to represent it here with Minnesota?
I'm very proud to represent it. I think just the support system that I gained throughout my years at Tech High School, whether that's coaches, staff, they really took care of me and, made sure I was in the right direction. Wasn't, going down the wrong path or anything. I couldn't thank them enough for, just having faith in me before I had faith in myself. My football coaches and basketball coaches, they just, Mike Trevick and Coach Greg Martig, they instilled in me, just to work hard. And it came with, the school's tradition of, having hardworking players and, teams. And my class we took that and ran with it, and it was a lot of fun. I'll never forget the memories we made there. And, I think it's definitely shaped me into the man I am today.
Yeah, it's amazing. Last one, you got Brevyn's Barbershop, a new episode this week, right?
Yeah. I think we just dropped Elijah, and then I think there's gonna be one more.
Nice. You haven't done it yet though. Recorded it. You haven't recorded it.
No, we've done it.
Oh, you've done it.
Yeah, we've done it.
So it's waiting to. So you want to tease us as to who the guest might be, or we got to keep that a secret?
Oh, I can't remember who it is.
Oh, you got to remember, yeah.
Because I shot a couple.
Yeah, so you taped a few. So Elijah this week, and people can go to the Gopher football account to watch it. So I was thinking here, I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's do a makeshift Brevyn's Barbershop, and you can ask me a couple questions.
Okay.
Can you come up with a couple?
I mean, I got the questions right on my phone.
Do you?
Yeah, I got.
All
right,
let's do this. See, this is. I have to invite myself on your barbershop here, right?
Hey, man, let me see.
Do you think the questions translate from Elijah Spencer to me though? 100%. Do they? Okay. All right. Very good. He's going to find the questions, and we're going to have a little makeshift Brevyn's Barbershop. Did you record that in a barbershop? Is that over at Williams Arena?
No, it's over in the facility.
You guys have one too?
Yeah.
Because I knew there was one in the barn. I didn't know you guys had a barbershop over here too.
Here we go.
All right, let's go. Brevyn's Barbershop.
I already know the first one I need.
You do? Okay.
What is your favorite Gopher sports memory?
Favorite Gopher sports memory. So this is my 18th year, and I think my favorite memory is Rashad Bateman's touchdown against Penn State. If you want one specific memory,
that was a great.
That was probably my favorite call on the radio. So that was my favorite memory. I'm gonna also do a honorable mention, and people might be a little surprised by this one. The 2018 win at Wisconsin, which was the first time we had won the Axe in a long time, and just now with history behind it, and we've won it some more, and there's been other big wins. But that to me was, that was the end of PJ's second year. Things in the middle of that year weren't going great, and to finish strong and then go on and win the bowl game, I think that was a tipping point to me in how this thing was headed. And to win it there, and it's Wisconsin, so it's good to win that.
It felt like we saved the world when we won that game.
No doubt. And then way back, Brevyn, I'll say my second year here, and you might remember this. You were probably a young guy. Blake Hoffarber hit a shot at the Big Ten tournament in basketball. Travis Bush threw a length of the court pass. It was against Indiana, and he caught it, spun, shot it, made it to get the Gophers into the semifinals. So you call a play like that, that was pretty good. So there's a few of them out there, but I like Bateman to start that game, Penn State. Yeah. Did you think I was going to go with Penn State?
I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
I thought maybe It had to have been one of the, rivalry games, I felt like.
Yeah, I like that Penn State game. And look, winning this past year at Iowa City was great, too.
Yeah.
As you may or may not know, I grew up going to games there because that was my home state. Yeah, so to get down there and get that win, I don't have to hear from my buddies anymore. Yeah,
I bet that felt great.
Yeah.
We got another one.
Okay. Question 2, Brevyn's Barbershop.
What is the last movie you watched?
Oh, man. So in a theater or just anywhere?
Anywhere.
Because I haven't been to a theater. Oh, I did go to Maverick. When was Maverick?
Top Gun Maverick?
Top Gun
I think
Maverick.
that was in the summer, right?
Yeah, but a couple summers ago.
2 summers ago?
Yeah, I went to. That's probably the last one I went to in a theater. So I'm going to have a boring answer here. And you'll find this as you get moved on in life. I was a big movie guy. Then you get out of college and you get a job. And then pretty soon you get married and you have kids and you find that I don't know why. Like my movie existence was from like 1994 before. So now it's mostly just catching up on old movies that I remember. I'll tell you this story. So my son is pretty close to your age, and he had never seen A Few Good Men. So and that's one of my maybe my all-time favorite movie. You know, the great cast with Nicholson and Tom Cruise and Demi Moore and others. Anyway, so he hadn't seen it, so I'm like, we're going to watch it. So we ordered it or whatever, and he ended up liking it. To the point where I went down in our basement a couple of weeks later, and he's got his buddies down there, and they're watching it. So I'm like, see, I'm passing something on to the next generation. We did the same with Shawshank Redemption. Have you seen that?
That was like, I had a weird, I loved that movie, growing up.
Yeah.
I had a weird, like one of those movies that you feel like you're like, I'm a little too young for this movie, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I would watch it a lot.
And that thing's on too. You flip through the channel, like TBS has it on these weird. And once you start watching it, you got to finish.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good show. So anyway, A Few Good Men is my favorite movie. The last movie I watched, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a good answer for you.
No, back to what you were saying, like whoever I end up with, marriage-wise, they better embrace that I love movies.
Yeah.
I'm watching movies forever.
That was my mistake. I married someone who didn't like to go to movies.
I will watch movies forever.
Yeah,
there's no stopping that.
You're right, and I'm old. See, I'm so old. Like I said, you're like my son's age, so I could pass on some movies. But I'm trying to think. Even like recently, Maverick we went to, which I love that show, and I like that more than I like the original Top Gun.
Yeah,
actually,
it was really good.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Good show.
All right, last one. This is a weird one.
Okay.
It's a weird one. So if someone gives you an elephant and you can't sell it or give it away, what are you going to do with it?
Ooh, gives you an elephant. Now, who came up with this question? Is this one of your own?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone gives me an elephant and I can't sell it or give it away, I would put it in my backyard, put a little fence around it, and then charge people to come and see it like it's a zoo. Little money maker.
I like that idea.
Because they'd have to figure out a way to feed it.
A lot of people I ask that to, they're like, I'll just ride it around, ride it to class. But it's like, where are you going to park it?
Yeah. Where are you going to park an elephant?
Where are you going to park it?
There's no sign that says elephant parking.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So it's just they didn't really think.
I'd try to make some money on it. I'd say, you want to bring your kids and see an elephant? Come on over.
And I don't know how they do in the winter. I don't know how.
I wonder. That's a good question.
I don't know how they do it.
Have to look that up. There we are. I invited myself on a Brevyn's Barbershop, so we got our own little makeshift one. It's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That was fun. All right, let's go get the Buckeyes.
Let's do it.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
All right, episode 96, Brevyn Spann-Ford.
There he is, another great appearance from Brevyn Spann-Ford, who put great thought and insight into our conversation, and I thank him for that. Episode 96 is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. We're also partnered with Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, a locally member-owned full-service financial invested in you. You can learn more at affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. That's affinityplus.org/Go Gophers. Cub is also one of our primary sponsors on the Go Gopher Podcast and the official grocer of the Golden Gophers. We're also brought to you by State Farm agent Tony Hogan. Oakland. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and right now, please be sure to click the subscribe button to the Go Gopher Podcast. It's free to subscribe and free to listen at any time. And please share the link to this podcast with others so they can listen and subscribe as well. We'll talk again next week.